Okay, tonight I'm going to do a tutorial on using Google Earth, which you can download for free from Google. Um, if you just go to Google and type in Google Pack, one of the things that'll come up is the option to download Google Earth. It's only available for Windows XP and Vista, I believe, but it is a good program. Anyway, it comes up like this, and you can actually grab the globe and rotate it if you'd like. Get to a specific spot that you want to check out. Or grab my north and put it back up on top. I can go over here and type in something. Like, for example, if I type in San Francisco, California, it's going to go over and it's going to zoom into San Francisco. Okay, so you can see it kind of cruises down to the bend. You'll see these kind of square shapes and everything, and that's because these are put together with satellite images from different sources: NASA, Digital Globe, Terrametric, Sanborn. Sometimes you'll see things on there for Terra Server. But I can actually zoom in, or I can just double click and have it kind of float into wherever I want to look at. So for example, if I want to look over here, this is Fisherman's Wharf, and I can actually grab the inn up here and rotate it around. And if I actually choose this up here, I can actually tilt this so that I can get more of a perspective view of what I'm looking at. And this isn't the coolest part because you're still looking at this flat map of the world, but you know, it's pretty cool. Right now I'm using my middle mouse button and doing the same thing, but I'm going to kind of drag it around a little bit. Okay, now what I want to do here is over here on the left, I want to turn on terrain. Okay, now what that does is you can see where the mountain ranges are, where the little things pop up. You know, it's pretty accurate, and so that's kind of cool. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see there's little hills and stuff here. And the next thing I want to do is I can turn on roads, for example, if I want to actually see a road map of San Francisco. But for what I want to do next here, I'm going to turn on 3D buildings. This doesn't work for every city, and some cities are more well defined than others. And down here, this will tell me streaming, and that's how long it's going to take to actually render all of these things. And you'll see that as I kind of move around, I'll get different buildings because if you have a better graphics card and things like that, you can see more what you're doing here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit and okay. So you can see that this is pretty darn detailed. I'm surprised really that there's this much detail on this city. Sometimes you'll go to a city and there might be an amusement park or maybe a something that's really well known for that's done in 3D. So I'm going to go ahead and turn those off because that really kind of slows down your rendering and stuff. But you'll get an idea again where things are. And one of the nice things too, that if I drag and let go, now I can just kind of have this fly through, and you can see how the city of San Francisco is kind of laid out. And this one over here probably would be Alcatraz. Alright, so anyway, so that's San Francisco. Now if I type in another city, like for example, what's another good one? New York City, New York. It flies me across the United States. Now I'm into the nighttime, and kind of orients me again here. Now again, it's going to stream and take a minute to get up there. Now I can zoom down. I just use the scroll wheel on my mouse, and you can see that it's still got a ways to go. It's streaming here. Okay, so I can scan around a little bit. Now if I was to tilt down again, my terrain is still turned on, so you get an idea of how flat this area really is. Okay. Now, I'm going to let that stream for a second. Turn on some. Now, again, I'm going to turn on 3D buildings. You'll start to see some things pop up here. You'll see some have more texture and stuff than others. That's because people have gone through and done texturing and color and that kind of stuff on here. Okay. All right. So there's New York City. But again, if I just want to go straight up and just look at it from top down, turn off 3D buildings and turn on roads, I can kind of see a lot more detail. And the closer I get, the more roads will show up. All right. Now, the other thing that's kind of neat is I can turn on other things, such as geographic web. And what happens is, if I move my mouse over these, it'll tell me what something is. Sometimes it'll have a picture. Like I'll just click that one, and it'll be a picture of the World Trade Center. I can go over here and click this one. Gives me some information and some links. This is all kind of dynamic, and it's things that people have put together and linked in, and you can actually download more of these databases here. Borders, that works better with states and stuff. But if you really, like, let's say you're in a small town such as Clinton, Tennessee. Alright, so I'm going to go down here to Clinton, Tennessee. And I'm going to click on dining, for example. And you'll see up here, there's some places up here. Apple Blossom Cafe, Miller's Restaurant. I can click on lodging, or I can click on Google Earth Community. Now what's cool about Google Earth Community is people will put on these links. Ace TV, the jail cam. I can click that, and if I go to the actual page, it'll open up here, and I can actually view the camera of this jail. Alright, somewhere in here. You'd have to find it. Anyway, so I'll close that part. I can go down and I can turn on transportation, geographic features, digital globe coverages, travel and tourism, for example, if you want to find museums or whatever. And it's really easy to use. You can just kind of drag around. Now you'll get to these places where you see this blurry spot. And in most cases, that's just where this is a picture they've taken, and they haven't taken a high resolution picture of that area yet. Although I have found some cases, like when I go to Washington, D.C., there are areas in Washington, D.C. that are blurred out, that are kind of in circle areas and stuff. So I think they're blurred out on purpose. Let me take out some of this garbage I have turned on here. Alright, and I can zoom down here, and somewhere right here in the middle of this pentagram, right at the end of the pentagram, it's a big pentagram shape, I can go ahead and zoom down. This right here will be the White House, and let me go ahead and turn on my 3D building so you can get a better idea of what this looks like here. Okay, it'll take a minute. Here's the Washington Monument. And the White House should pop up here. Alright, so it's kind of cool because you can get a real good idea of how things are laid out here in Washington and why you wouldn't want to be here if somebody wanted to come down the street and get you. Anyway, so it's a really neat kind of site, and it's a great free program. And you can do lots of other stuff, but I'm just here trying to do an intro to the program. So I hope you explore it and have fun with it, and look forward to hearing how you use it. I'm going to be doing some tutorials on how to add more high-resolution pictures and how to add your own content and things like that. But right now, I think this will be good to get you started. Thanks a lot.